Shalonda's Short Stories, written by Shalonda Reese. Story number 5, The Attic, Part 2. Oliver jumped out of his car, ran to the porch, and fumbled to get the key into the doorknob to unlock. Once he opened the door, he became much more cautious. He slowly climbed the stairs. The silence in the house was eerie. A gust of air crossed his face. He slowly opened the attic. It was musty. "Hello?" Oliver barely moved as he looked around the small attic. It was so small you didn't have to really move to see everything in the room. Maybe I was seeing things. The front door downstairs closed. Oliver raced downstairs. He ran outside, ran back inside and checked all of the rooms. He dialed 911. "Hello, what is your emergency?" "I saw someone in my attic." "Excuse me, sir." "Someone was in my attic. Then the front door shut loudly while I was in the attic. Please send the police." "What is your name?" "Oliver Griffin." "Is that person still there?" "I don't know. I just saw a face. I saw no one in the attic once I got there." "Are you somewhere safe, sir?" "Yes, I guess." "What's your address?" 478 Rainy Drive. "We will dispatch police shortly." Oliver hung up and then called his wife as he waited for the police. "Yes, Ollie?" "Just called the police. As I was pulling out, I saw someone in the attic looking at me." "What?" "I'm coming home." "No." "I checked. I saw no one, but when I was in the attic, the front door shut loudly." "Then that means someone was there," Shelby said, frightened. "Just calm down. I am waiting on the police to come and check everything out." "How would someone get in the attic? What did he look like? Or she?" "I couldn't tell if the face was male or female. It was strange, Shelby. It was as if I was looking. The cops are just about here. As if I was looking at a face that didn't exist." "That makes no sense." "I know it doesn't. Gotta go now, Shelby. I will text or call you later." He hung up. The officer got out of his car. He sauntered over very casually. "Hello, officer." "Hello? I'm Officer Jones. What seems to be the problem?" "As I was backing out to go to work, I saw a face looking out at me from the attic window. I ran upstairs to check and found no one, but I heard the front door shut loudly. I checked everything out and found no one." "Lead me to your attic." "This way, officer." Officer Jones followed Oliver up the stairs. Oliver opened the attic door. The officer looked around with his hand on his gun, ready to pull and fire if necessary. The officer caught Oliver staring over in the corner. "What are you looking at?" the officer quizzed. "When I was up here, I put that box over here on the left. I specifically remember. When we moved in, I put it over there on the left. And now it's over here on the opposite side of the attic." "Maybe you moved it and don't remember." No, no, no. I didn't move it, and neither did Shelby. Shelby's my wife." "Well, there's no one up here," the officer responded as he walked down the stairs. "I'll check the backyard and your other rooms." The officer looked around and in closets. "You may want to invest in an alarm system, and if someone was up there in your attic, they are long gone now. Also, put a camera around your property. That way, if the person comes back, you will have evidence on camera." "Thank you, officer." "Good day, sir." Oliver called in to let the other manager know he was running a little late due to an emergency. Oliver looked around. He felt uneasy. Did I really see a face? Or did I imagine it? No, I couldn't have imagined it. I heard the front door shut, and then those noises I kept hearing. Oh, and there is no explanation for those two missing slices of pizza. Oliver went to work. As he drove, he found himself often checking his rearview mirror. Shelby got home around 5 p.m. Oliver, because he goes into work later, usually got home about an hour later. He asked her to wait until he got home before she went in. He didn't feel comfortable with her going into the house alone, but Shelby went inside anyway. She looked around. She didn't dare go upstairs. Even though she pretended to keep her composure at times, she was deeply afraid. What if Ollie's right? What if someone was in here? What if he is still in here watching me? Shelby was too paranoid to move around in the house. She went into the kitchen and turned the oven on for the baked potatoes. She kept her phone near her this time. Every 5 to 10 minutes, Oliver would check with her to make sure everything was okay. She made sure to respond to his messages promptly. She looked at her watch. It was 5:38. The baked potatoes would need to bake about 20 more minutes. For the first time since they had been living there, she listened to the silence in the house. She felt uneasy. She turned on the television to ease her nerves. She heard a sound. She muted the television. She slowly looked around. She looked up at the attic door, but was too afraid to go up there alone. Shelby went to she and Oliver's bedroom. She had a small Bible in the nightstand drawer that she kept since childhood. When she visited her grandparents during the summers, they would send her to Bible school. She remembered the Bible school teacher telling them to memorize the 23rd Psalm because it would keep them safe from harm if they recited it while in dangerous or scary situations. She never read it as an adult because she felt no need to, but in this moment, she felt a strong urge to read the Bible. Shelby blew the dust off the Bible and flipped to the 23rd Psalm. She whispered, "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death." Shelby stopped reading at the sound of a door creaking. She froze. She put her Bible down on the nightstand. "Ollie, is that you?" Shelby walked cautiously to the doorway of her bedroom and looked down the hallway. The front door was shut. She looked at the back door. It was shut. Then she looked back down at the front door, and Oliver walked in. "Ollie, thank God you're home." "Hey, Shell, is everything okay? What's wrong?" "I was in the bedroom and heard a door creak. I thought it was you, but when I came to the hallway, the front door and back door were closed, and then you walked in." "Do you have any idea what door it was?" Oliver asked as he looked around. "It didn't even sound like a door in this house. Ollie, I believe you. Something strange is going on." "When your grandparents bought this house, Did they mention anything about the house to you or anybody else that you thought was strange? No, Ollie, I don't recall. I'm sure they would have told us that there was something strange since they bought it for us. About an hour later, Oliver and Shelby were sitting at the kitchen table, eating in silence. There was tension in the air. They didn't talk much, except about work, just to keep their minds off of the strange happenings in the house, although they knew that what was exactly on their mind, the strange happenings in the house. Oliver thought about Shelby's surprise birthday celebration. He felt uneasy about throwing a party here in the house with all of the strange things going on. He thought on that box in the attic. He thought back to Fran asking him if anything strange was happening. He wanted to tell Shelby, but then he would have to explain why they were on the phone that morning. Shelby looked at Oliver. They never much discussed God or the Bible or anything religious for that matter. She wondered how he would take it if she brought up the 23rd Psalm. Oliver? Yes, Shell? Are you familiar with the 23rd Psalm? That's in the Bible. That's what I know about it. Yes, Shelby said, a little excited that at least he knew where it was. Oliver never spoke to Shelby about religion or the Bible. Yeah, my parents believed in God. We went to church, but as I got older, I stopped going, even though I believe in God too, and I pray too. I was reading the 23rd Psalm right before I heard the door creak. Oliver looked up from his food. You should take a look at it, Ollie. I don't see how just reading a Bible verse could help us. I think prayer could work. Just read it, Ollie. Later that night, as Ollie and Shelby settled in bed, Oliver read the 23rd Psalm. He read it over 4 times, repeating some of the lines as Shelby snored softly. Then he fell asleep. Later that night, Oliver opened his eyes. He looked over at the clock. It read 2:58. He studied the dark. He sat up for a moment. Then he heard a sound that caused the hairs on his head to stand up. Footsteps coming toward their bedroom. To be continued.